What's up, everybody? Welcome to a JJ Show live stream edition. Kind of a supplementary episode that goes along with the release on Friday. So, one thing I want to try to do more is on episodes that are deeply historical or full of info. We edit a lot of things out. And then on episodes where I get to release stuff, I want to do more of these live Q&As because they're pretty easy. I made my setup easier here. I'm just setting up my desk. And I'm going to go through some questions. I'm glad that you're all on here. I have my screen in front of me, so if I'm not looking at you, I'm not being rude. I'm reading your questions. I'm excited for this. The whole purpose of today is all about Legends of Fuzz. So I want you to ask your questions. This video will stay up forever. We'll make it a normal episode on the show site. And yeah, I'm just going to answer some things, go through some questions, and get with it. So we're going to start off the Q&A with kind of some icebreaker questions that came from social media. Katie pulled some of those. And then I'll get into the comments. I see right now we have a very healthy amount of people on the stream. And yeah, let's go for it. It's time for Q&A. Tell me all your questions. All right, so some of the first questions here. This is a good one. I'm not going to answer it completely for one reason. But here's the question. Please explain how the gate button works on the smiley. Does it add something to the circuit, or does it take something away? Can you please give a good demo of it? People aren't doing a good job so far on YouTube. Yeah, how does it gate when it rolls off? So when we're talking about the smiley here, on the side, all of these have a button. And yeah, you just push it in. Now, the smiley is based around the first era silicon fuzz faces. So in 1968, Dallas Arbiter replaced germanium transistors with silicon. And then through the 70s, early 70s, they're really cool. They're my favorites. And then it gets real sloppy and a lot of chaos goes down with Arbiter. But that's what this is based on. And so the mode, when you see a mode on any of these pedals, so the bender here has a mode. Basically, what you need to realize is that the mode is my mod. It's my mod to the circuit. So I'm giving you a faithful clone replica, but I'm also giving you my changes. Cool stuff like that. Because these pedals, these are old. So if we look back at the fuzz face 66, and if you watched my how to mod a fuzz face video, I gave some history there. We have a lot of decades of this circuit in existence, so there's a lot of great mods we've learned. A lot of amazing builders have done things. So that's my take on this. So his question is it taking away or giving something? So the gate control on the fuzz face is a bias adjustment. So transistor 2, if you go back and watch the how to modify a fuzz face, I have a whiteboard in that episode, and I show you how the circuit works. I teach you how the circuit works. So Q2, you can rebias that transistor. And when you push this button, you are changing the bias resistor, and it's gating it out. So you're not taking anything away. You're not giving anything else. You're simply changing one value of a resistor, and it's starving that one transistor a little, and it sounds awesome. It sounds misbiased, and that's really great. Great question. I'm not going to play today. I just wanted to make this simple. For me, number one, I'm super busy, and I didn't want, if I get guitar gear plugged up, my brain goes crazy and everything has to be perfect. So I want to answer more questions. So that's what we're going to do. Great question. And it gates with the volume rolled off in a different way. It still gates though. It's fantastic with the volume rolled off in all modes. All right. Do these pedals have to sit first in the chain like the originals, or can they be placed anywhere? So again, these are replicating the originals. They're going to act just like them. So put them first in your chain. They will sound really great. Now the Crimson, based around the Red Army, it's a big muff circuit topology. It's 4 transistor fuzz, so it does really good anywhere on the board, to be honest. The Bender and the Smiley that I held up and the Supreme, I would put them first. That's my opinion. You know, for what that's worth, put them first. Please explain the mode switch on each pedal. So yeah, there definitely is. I think looking back on these videos, this is cool to interact with you all because it teaches me how to better release something. And I think the mode buttons, maybe they didn't get enough coverage, and that's what we're doing here. When I did my video, so the 4-square video where Nick's playing drums and bass and I'm playing a rhythm and a lead part, when I went to film that, my intention, Nick and I, our intention, we're not together, and that complicates producing these episodes, but I intended to simply play one guitar part. He laid down drums first. I played guitars, made up riffs over his drums, and then I knew he'd throw a bass down, or I would. I wasn't going to use the mode controls. I was going to let somebody else do that. And then what I realized is, I should just play a lead part too, make the video 4 squares, like a Brady Bunch looking thing. And I had already shot all my talking parts. So that's why that video, I don't really go into detail on it. So let's do it right now. On the Smiley, we're going to talk about that control. What does it do? So when you push the button right here, when you push that button, it gets more high gain. The distortion fuzz amount goes up. It's more distorted, more fuzzy, and it gates the signal like I just explained. So that's what the Smiley does. It's really fun. On the Crimson, right here, the Crimson, when we touch this mode button, the JHS mode, we add a mid-frequency boost. So big muffs or Crimsons or whatever style of pedal that is based around a 4 transistor fuzz like a big muff, they have a very interesting mid sound. It feels scooped. It's actually that it has more treble and more bass, and then the mids are kind of left out. So what we're doing here is when you touch this button, you are given the ability to put a lot of mids into this circuit, and it's awesome. So, and with any fuzz or distortion, adding mid is going to make it distort a little different, and that's fun. So a little hint for you all, and I've said this on some episodes, take a cheap EQ pedal. Get on Amazon and buy like a $10 EQ pedal. It doesn't matter. Just buy one. Or if you have a Boss one laying around, that's my favorite. Put it in front of your drives and boost the frequencies and use that as a second drive pedal. You'll be really shocked. And that's kind of what's going on with the Crimson. It's just adjusting the tone stack. Next up is the Bender. We're talking about what are these mode controls. So on the Bender, when you touch this button, mode, when you do that, you get more gain and a mid boost. It's a really great mod. More gain and a mid boost on this. And then lastly, we have the Supreme. So the Supreme has 2 controls. Now, the original Super Fuzz has this right here, tone, which is kind of like a mid scoop. Scooped mids. You know what I'm talking about. That's what that kind of does. But the mode is our adaptation, our modification. So what you end up with is much more pronounced octave. A thicker mid-range, meaning that the mid-range is boosted and shifted a bit, and you have more available volume. So that's the modes. That's a great question. That one question, whoever asked that on Instagram, that was worth this whole Q&A because those didn't get covered well enough. And I think we just fixed that. Yeah. So if you see somebody wanting to know about modes, just send them this video and they can see me explain it. Maybe we'll even transcribe what I did and put it over on Facebook and Instagram. All right, let's keep going. Are these good for bass? Absolutely. Absolutely. Every pedal's great on bass, but there's bass players watching and I offended you. They're all great on bass, but I know what you're saying. Do these handle the low end? Are they complementary to the low end frequencies? Yes, these all do really well. I mean, the fuzz face and tone bender have been used on famous recordings since they came out in the 60s. So you've heard these circuits on bass. The Crimson is based around the Mike Matthews Red Army Overdrive, which is a few months, almost a year before the Civil War Sovtek Russian Big Muff. And right after that was the Green Big Muff. And I get on forums every once in a while, or I've seen in the past, or with my Muffaletta, I discover that everyone thinks the Green Big Muff sounds way better on bass. But it's like they all sound great on bass. Somewhere, someone decided to say the green one was best for bass. And I don't know where that came from, but it's not true. All of these Soviet big muff style pedals sound awesome. Any of the ones EH has put out, they're fantastic. You should go buy them. They sound really great on bass. So, great question. Would it ever be possible to make them smaller, more pedal board friendly? Unfortunately, that's just not the point of this series. They are fairly small. They're not much bigger than a normal pedal. And this is paying tribute to the way pedals used to be. I feel like it's classy. It feels good. It connects me as a builder and as a player, and hopefully you, to the history of these circuits, because this is where it started. I mean, 1962, the first pedal was like this. We primarily borrowed inspiration from Japanese enclosure design. Shinai was a huge inspiration for how this looks. The very first Ace Tone pedals, Ace Tone became Roland, Roland made Boss. That's kind of the Japanese style, and I'm in love with it. And that's what we did here. So cosmetically and aesthetically and shapely and sizely. Sizely? Is sizely a word? I think it's a band. They're exactly what I wanted them to be. But maybe on some future episodes about smaller pedals, I can introduce you to some great alternatives. I mean, a one off the bat is just go buy the Electro Harmonics Green Russian reissue muff. It's much smaller. You'll get a similar sound and move on. It's a great pedal. All right. Why is your bass player headless? Well, it's a long story. He was in a motorcycle accident right before we shot that, and his head got chopped off. And I had some Band-Aids laying around. I just slapped a Band-Aid on his neck, and he got through the session, and then we surgically added his head back on, and he's fine now. Is this a limited run? No. These will be out forever, hopefully. I love them. These are the first 4 in a set of many, many, many. We have roughly 10 of them completed, meaning the circuits are done. We're ready to order badges and put them into production whenever. We'll probably do the next 4. We might go crazy and do a bunch more at once, but we'll do at least 3 or 4, probably in January. Maybe earlier. I don't know. You guys have been awesome, and this has been really encouraging. These have sold 5 times more than I thought they would. The interest has been amazing, and really grateful for that. So we might bump these up into doing some of the extra ones sooner. Now let's look into the actual questions here in the stream. So I have this pulled up. It seems like there's 70 million. I'm going to go through. I'm a live stream noob, but this is fun, and I don't want to take forever. But I do want to answer your questions, and so far we've answered some really valuable stuff, so that's really fun. All right, I'm going to start off here, and let's see. Oh, I got a haircut today. that's good news for all of you because it was getting rough. And I'm sorry I made you look at my hair exploding for weeks. As many of you probably haven't had haircuts either. I'm just saying it was nice to get a haircut. That matters. All right. Cool poster in the background. Thank you. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, doing the things that a spider can. You can sell that version. Let's see here. Reissue the Firefly next year. The Bender is the same style topology and I think a better circuit overall. The Firefly will never come back. The Bender is where it's at. Let's see here. Favorite Supreme setting. I'm not a huge fan of the mid scoop tone control, but so many people are. I love the expand knob all the way up. It's crazy. It's unruly. It's violent. So, for what that's worth. Let's see here. How'd you get the tone for Rumble at the beginning of the video? Oh, yeah. So at the beginning of our video, that's actually from Who is Ernie Ball. So when we do our mini documentaries, we actually record our own soundtracks. So that was like a year ago. I am pretty sure I plugged directly into a Princeton and just turned it up. I think it was really simple. It's just how you play it. It's not so much about the gear, just any kind of small amp. When will the last 6 of these be released? That's, like I kind of said, hopefully January. Which is best for the big muff sound? That is absolutely going to be the Crimson. That is the original Red Army Overdrive next to the Crimson. And that Red Army Overdrive is a version of a Soviet big muff. So if you didn't watch the original video, go watch those videos and check them out. They're really good. But yeah, that is your big muff sound right there. They are all true bypass. So are they true bypass or buffered? They're true bypass. So that's one thing I did not carry on from the vintage effects. Some of these had the worst bypass systems ever known. So I made them all true bypass. Just because it's easier to do and cheaper to do, kept the price down, and it's reliable. Yeah, so high quality switching for sure. Are the other 6 designs unique circuits or variations? They're all always going to be based on classic, rare, amazing, strange, fun circuits from the past. We're not reinventing the wheel here. That's not the point. We will put our mode in them. So the next circuits, I will say this. There's a few more obscure things that you may not even know about. And I'll teach you about them in an episode with the history. And then you'll be able to buy it if you want to. But at least you'll know these things exist. We kind of put out these first 4 because they're known. People know Super Fuzz or Big Muff Sounds or Tone Benders and Fuzz Faces. The next ones might have a little more of an obscure, like, if you're a fuzz nut, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to discover some new things. It's going to be really exciting. Yeah. Let's see. I would keep them first. Do not put a buffer in front of them. People are asking. Question about the Legends of Fuzz. Are they any good? Are these pedals good? That's the question. They're the best pedals that have ever been made in the world. There's never been pedals this good. Never. All right. Let's see. There's some great questions in here. What is Lucky626 says, what is the most unique fuzz for solos? That's a fun question because fuzz is normally this like chunky, thick, big sound, and solos have to cut. So there's nothing like octave fuzz for solos. There's just nothing like it. It's so good. And the Supreme. would be my favorite. If you want to play a solo and you want your quarantine crowd of 2 to see you on that stage and basically bow before you, this Supreme. I mean, it is super duper fantastic. It's just, it cuts through the mix. It's killer. It's fantastic. Again, lots of people think these are limited because I did the 1966 series. And I still build those, by the way. I just don't have time, and they're very rare. These are not limited. These are going to run forever. So don't get in a hurry. Buy them later. It's fine. Does the crimson differ much in tone from the green Russian? I prefer my way huge Russian pickle to my New York City Big Muff first run. And yes, you have the box. I'm proud of you. It does. It does differ. I think the crimson, to me, has a lower gain ability that most Big Muffs don't have. And not that people go buy Big Muffs for low gain. That's kind of silly. But it's different. I think that's, I mean, I wouldn't have, to be frank with you, I wouldn't have put it out. Because there's a lot of Big Muffs. I mean, I have a Muffaletta that has 6 Big Muffs in it. Electro-Harmonics has done a fantastic job reissuing these. I've done episodes on that. I encourage anyone to go buy those reissues. They're amazing. But no one's really done the Red Army. I've seen a couple people, and they're good. I just wanted to do my take on it, mainly to do that mode control. And yeah, it is different. It's different. You'd enjoy it. Let's see here. I missed the glitches. I'm on a different, this is my faster computer, so no glitches this time. How close is the bender to the Firefly? It's really close, like I said. It's silicon. The Firefly was germanium, but I'm going to be really frank with you. The silicon version here of this is much more accurate to the real 73 onomatopoeia that I used than the actual Firefly was. I mean, that's how good we've nailed it down. It's more dependable, more stable. It'll last longer. It's less finicky. So yeah. Let the Firefly die. That might need to be my new saying. Let's see here. How does the Scarlet, I guess you're saying Crimson, how does the Crimson Fuzz compare to the Russian setting on the Muffaletta? What's the difference in the circuit and sound? So they're similar, but the Crimson will have more mid-frequency audible, and then you have the mode, which you can engage for even more, and the Crimson does better low-gain fuzz sounds. Yeah. The tone control sweep's slightly different, but they're the same. They're big muffs. They're 4 transistor circuits, you know. So if you lined up again, big muffs, I get it. People love big muffs. I have friends that have amazing companies and they just make big muffs and it's amazing. But a lot of people split way too many hairs over the differences in some of the big muffs. If it's a 4 transistor silicon circuit, big muff style, they're all going to be similar. But if you're a fuzz maniac, like I'm a fuzz nut, I love fuzz, you learn to hear those differences. It's like the difference, you know, if you go to New York City and you're wanting to buy some pizza that is, you're going to taste that you might have 5 slices of cheese pizza in front of you, and a typical person would, someone from England, nothing against you if you're English, but you might look down and go, oh, it's all pizza. But then if you're a New Yorker, you will be able to judge those slices of pizza dramatically different. And that's what happens with fuzz. So yes, it's different, but it is still cheese pizza. But man, cheese pizza can be different. That's my analogy for that. That was good. That was really good. That was the best pedal analogy I've come up with all day. All day. All right. Did you send pedals to any bass players? Yes, we're starting to send them out now. We want to get more into doing some bass demos for sure. I think about you guys all the time. I dream about bass players. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Lots of questions about Firefly versus Bender, which is so funny. The Firefly never sold well. I'm always amazed that people miss it. I'm like, where were you when I sold it? It's amazing. Yeah, the Bender is better than the Firefly. Yes. That is my opinion. So it's my fact. It might not be your fact, but it's my fact. Let's see. Dan from the Pedal Show killed his space bar on his Mac by dropping a fuzz on it. Does it improve the sound of the pedal? Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's everybody knows that. Duh. Which one would you use for bass? Which would be your favorite? Crimson. It's amazing on bass. Yeah. Are these surface mount? Yes, absolutely. And the best part about that is I purposely did not get into the inner mechanics of these pedals. I've made them as cheap as I can make them, and have them extremely high quality. Cheap is a word you don't want to use there. I've made these as affordable. They're high quality. And I went surface mount like I do on all my pedals, and most everyone does nowadays. But it took a lot of time to tune these in. You know, it's easy for someone to sit on the other side of the internet and go, oh, it's just a fuzz face clone. Well, yeah, good luck replicating that 72 fuzz face that you love, absolutely love, that has BC 108s in it or 109s, and finding surface mount equivalents, ordering them, adapting them into your breadboards, going back and forth, dealing with resistors, tolerances, capacitance, getting these circuits perfect was really hard. And so we're really, really proud of that, and their surface mount. And I didn't go into these specs because unfortunately, and I wanna do more against what I'm about to say this year, people are too obsessed with finite unnecessary details with pedals. You can tell someone that this new fuzz pedal has surface mount and they'll go, it'll never sound like the old one. Well, that's ridiculous. If someone knows what they're doing and they engineer it properly, design with it properly, massage that circuit to where it needs to be for the surface mount components, it'll sound better. It'll be less noisy. It'll be more reliable. And so I think it's interesting to watch some of the posts. You know, I've roamed around. I've seen very, very positive feedback, but you see someone go, I want to see gut picks. Why? Does it sound good or does it not? And I think what this series has proven to me is that people are finally starting to buy pedals with their ear as much as their eye. And that's really exciting because for so long, people would only buy stuff if it's true bypass or germanium or blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. It's like, does it sound good or does it not? Why are you concerned over if it has some part that is non-essential to the circuit and sound? And so that's my happy little rant about how hard we worked on these to get them to sound perfect. And they do. They sound really good. I mean, you saw Andy's video. That's the reason I don't do the shootouts. I send them to Andy or other people because I want my hands off of it. And I tell them, I talked to Andy on the phone before. I was like, dude, make it, if you have problems, show it. I told Rhett, I said, Rhett, if you don't like these, tell people. Like, I don't play the pedal demo game. I'm not interested in pedal demos. I'm not interested in sending stuff and having someone have to like my pedal. And I love that we put these out. I did no gut shots, did not disclose specific transistors, and the world loves how they sound. So that's exciting. That's super exciting to me. And I congratulate you on looking at a pedal with your ears more. That's something we got to do in 2020. We've had 5-10 years of way too many buzzwords, way too much magical mojo. Does it sound good? Is the price point good? Is the company reliable? Does it have a warranty? And do you enjoy guitar more when you play it? If so, buy that pedal. Whether it's JHS or not, I could care less. Buy a pedal because it makes you happy and you enjoy guitar more, not because it has secret mojo in it, because that's ridiculous. All right. Here we go. Let's see. So many good questions. Les Paul with humbuckers. Anything I need to be aware of? No, these play great with singles and humbuckers. They're just like the original Fuzzes. I tend to love a Telecaster bridge pickup with fuzz. But as I say that, I'm like, there's nothing like a Les Paul with a PAF in it. So, Six String Stories says, isn't your smiley technically frowning? Ha ha ha. Yeah, that is funny. I actually never thought about that. That's funny. The original arbiters, they smile. So it's a frowny face. It's a frowny face fuzz. Let's see. Going on through the comments. There is so much participation. You guys are amazing. Hey Josh, were there other fuzzes you thought of including in the lineup? Well, like I've said, I already have 6 more. I have a list of about 20. In the comments on the other episode, don't do it here, it'll get lost. Suggest fuzzes you'd like to see in this series. I think it'd be fun to have this collaborative experience with customers and actually do surveys maybe and even put out pedals that are requested. I think that'd be awesome. Let's see here. Put them all in one box, please. That would be amazing and weird. Which fuzz is the smoothest, sweetest, violin-like sustaining one in your opinion? Smiley. I'm not overthinking it. There's the fuzz face with the fuzz control turned all the way up, neck pickup. Oh man, it's good. There's a reason Eric Johnson uses it. It has that thing. It has that just like sustaining violin sound. So nice. Let's see. Favorite kind of pancake? Chocolate chip. I mean, what is there? Are there others? No. Let's see here. I'm searching for a correct replica of the Muff Fuzz, not the Big Muff. The actual Nano Muff is not good for me. So the Muff Fuzz is a smaller circuit, stripped down topology that the Big Muff name kind of shares some history with. I don't want to get into it here because I don't want this to take forever. But yeah, that's interesting. There might not be a good Muff Fuzz alternative. I've played the Nano and it sounds fantastic compared to the original. So my advice to you, Zimby66, is just be sure that you're not judging a book by its cover. In my opinion, the Nano Muff sounds exactly like my vintage ones. That's all I'll say to that. So just be sure. Do you have any thoughts on the Black Russian Muff? What that circuit would be considered? No, it's too similar to the Crimson, and I have the Russian Muff in the Muffaletta, so I won't do that. And again, the Russian Muff and the green Muff, people, it's like it's a different color case. Like there are some differences, sure, but I have 6 or 7 black Russian Big Muffs, and they're all a little different because of the day. So you can't play this Big Muff game. This one sounds better than you can't, because they're making these things in a military factory with these colonels hovering over these employees, and they're like, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just nuts. Like you can't go there. because even stuff the same week in the same case sounds a little different. It's all cheese pizza. Just enjoy it. Um, as a kid, the Univox Fuzz that I bought at a local electrical supply store was my absolute favorite until it became non-functional at some point. I couldn't find another one. How close is your copy? It is perfect. I mean, go watch Andy's video. He shoots them out. I made sure to not do that to be fair and try to keep that honest. I made these because I wanted to make them perfect and I wanted them to sound amazing, or I wouldn't have put them out. I could put other pedals out. So, it's like it feels like a crappy thing to have to say that because it's conflicting with my personality. I don't like selling my own stuff. I think it should speak for itself. But people want to hear me say it's the best pedal ever. And, that's the joke with the shameless plug thing. But I think they're amazing, or I wouldn't put them out. But I'm not going to sit here and convince you of that. Just go play them. Go listen to videos. I've done all I can do to explain how proud I am of them. But yeah, you got to use your ears, and I wouldn't have put these out if I didn't want to make them really great. Let's see here. So good, so good, so good. I'm trying to only stay with questions about the series. A lot of questions that are a little off the topic. Let's keep going. What would a Kansas City Fuzz sound like? I've actually thought about this. I've wanted to put something out because Kansas City is a maker city. It's a craft city. There's a lot of great creatives. I've wanted to do something. I don't know what to do. What would it sound like? I don't know. Thanks for that question, because that'll be stuck in my head. And that's a good thing. I want to do that one day. Here we go. When are retailers going to get more stock, preferably the Bender? All right, so the Bender has been the top seller. We have sold probably close to 1,500 Benders since Saturday. And the dealers bought in really well and stocked up, but we never expected to sell the numbers on these. They've all sold incredibly well. And so we're doing our best to get these out. We are still in quarantine, by the way. But our city government allowed us to open up our shop with some restriction. And then me as a business owner, I have my own concerns and restrictions and my own convictions about how to deal with COVID. So we put our production staff back in the building, spread apart. I'm keeping non-essential. So essential to me is production. Non-essential employees. I'm a non-essential. I don't build pedals. I don't sit and build the pedals. So I'm working at home to give space for builders. And we're doing overtime. We're working a lot to get these out. So a couple weeks, you're going to see most all of these back orders filled, I believe. And again, thanks so much. Let's see here. Katie's reminding me of something on a text that I must do. Do any of these wedges have germanium transistors? I'm a huge germanium fan. I need the creaminess. So, great question. No, they don't. But what I've loved is the fact that people not knowing what they are have accidentally already been saying they're germanium. Again, I love germanium, but I worked really hard to, like on the Bender specifically, this is the one that concerns this question. Can you take a germanium 3-stage fuzz? Can you do that? Can you take this 73 onomatopoeia over here and get that sound? Well, play it and stop worrying about buzzwords. Stop worrying about things like it has to be germanium. What if it doesn't? What if there's a way to adapt it? What if we really did work that hard on it, And my answer to that is I think you'll love it. I think if no one ever told you, and if it was gooped, you'd think it's germanium. But again, I don't like saying that because, you know, it just turns into that situation. Let's see here. I'll do a few more of these, and then I'm going to give away the fuzz face that I modified on the How to Modify Your Fuzz Face episode. So I'm going to give that away. I have the winner's name staring into my soul from a text. I'm going to give that away. Let's see here. The Supreme is a clone of which FZ? So just watch my video. I teach this very well. All of these shown, these three surrounding, they're all the exact same circuit. Again, stop shopping with your eyes. Because the case is red or black, it doesn't change the sound, but you've been told it might. So don't do that. It's a replica of the original Univox circuit, which is actually a Shinai, actually a honey circuit. I go through the history. I explained it in my video, so go check that out. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. Man, there are so many good questions. Oh, la 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 la. Digital fuzz. I've heard a good digital fuzz I liked. Let's see here. Bender versus Park Fuzz. I'm a huge Park Fuzz fan, and they're both MK3s. I don't know. I love the Park Fuzz. I mean, I would never say my Bender sounds better than the Park Fuzz. But I also wouldn't say the Park Fuzz sounds better than the Bender. They're great. I need to do that. That'd be a fun experiment. Maybe do a live where I take some of my friends' variations on these and like just play with them. That's a fun idea. Really good question. How about a silicon fuzz right? That's definitely in consideration. Why didn't you add a foot switch for the mods on the side? Costs more, didn't feel completely necessary, and I wanted to keep these simple. I wanted to make these, manufacture these, and think about them in a way that was like they were when they came out. Less is more was the approach here. Tone Machine clone and win. Yeah, the Fox Tone Machine. I mean, there's some good Tone Machine clones. I mean, the Dan Electro, the newer one, he invented the Tone Machine. The Supreme is very close. These circuits aren't that different. So just keep that in mind. Has there been any unexpected feedback from any of the YouTubers who have tested? I was ready for some people to not love them, possibly. I didn't know. I mean, aesthetically, visual. I mean, everyone has opinions. But at the end of the day, I did what I wanted to do. The feedback was 100% amazing sonically. Everyone loves how they look. Rhett Scholl hates the knobs. That's fine. But I did use knob wood, and that's his problem. So if you change the knobs, you change the tone. If you change the knobs, you change the tone of the pedal. Are you going to change the knobs? That's a joke, by the way. All right. Let's give away a fuzz pedal here. We're going to wrap this up. All right. We're giving away 2 of these. I don't have them here. We'll get them shipped this week. So go watch the How to Modify a Fuzz Face video. And it's fun. It teaches you a lot about the smiley, particularly. Here are the winners. For Patreon, if you're not aware of Patreon, you can go over and support the show, the historical content, the archiving, documentary work we're doing. But over there, we're giving one of them away, and it's Lee Hinman. So Lee Hinman over at Patreon, you'll be notified on that account. But you won one of them. And then for all of you who are not Patreon, or patrons of the JHS show, the winner is Xander Black. So Xander Black, Katie, text me how many submissions we had. It was bonkers. So Xander, you are a very, very fortunate person. I think we had thousands of submissions. I don't know. She'll tell me in a minute. It was something completely bats, bananas, crazy. So you won. I think from here we're good. I do want to walk you through just things that seem obvious to me, but they're not to a lot of people. And here is some heads up. So our website is dedicated right now to these. Now, there's amazing copy about each pedal. There's a lot of details. You guys are asking questions we already answered. And so the bender, the crimson, the smiley, the supreme, there's the story there, and there's like a lot of detail. Then if you click the supreme, you're going to go to its page. So this is, a little more info about that. And then all the demos for each pedal are there. So go watch these. They're so good. I mean, they're just really great demos. And then you can click on the manual. You can view the manual without even buying the pedal. So yeah, go do that. I mean, these are really, really like fantastic resources for a lot of these basic questions that are being asked. Katie says we had 9,172 submissions. So Xander Black, you win that fuzz face that I modded. I've modded 2 of them, of that model, ever. I worked it up for that episode. And so that's cool. You're awesome. I think this is it. I think this is the end of a really fun 50-minute live Q&A. Thank you all for being on here. It means a lot. It means the world to me that you guys have accepted these so well. All the information, cost, videos, all of that stuff's on our website, jhspedals.com. Instagram is Instagram jhspedals. Facebook, yeah, everything you need to know is over there. So basically, that's all you need to know. Oh, this is a good question. Please explain, was the Super Fuzz a licensed clone of the Shinai Honey Circuit, or did they clone it? I answered that in my video. Like, just watch the videos. We worked so hard on the history content. I want to answer you because it's such a great answer, but it's in my video. I explain it. Go watch the video. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. If you like this, hit like, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon. You get notifications of future episodes. Go watch Nick's video. Nick's Tapes. He launched his own YouTube channel. It's so good. Like, I was on the phone last night with Rhett Shull. We are both cyclists, so we talk about bikes more than guitars. And we started talking about Nick's channel. Nick is killing it. He's so creative. I think his video for this it's definitely, I think it's more favorite than my own. He's very creative. Get over there, subscribe to his channel. He's going to be doing some cool stuff. And have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Go watch those videos. There's a lot of good content on these. And yeah, just stay awesome. See ya. Bye-bye.